Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming out tonight. My name is Anthony Santurri. I am also running for Ward 1 City Council. My story is that I am the nightclub guy. I am the small business owner who has owned nightclubs and bars. And that probably would not have been a very good thing unless I had proved to everyone in my community and in this room that you can be a responsible nightclub bar owner. My mission when I started with this 10 years ago was to absolutely end up being known as part of my community, as a business owner in a business that usually does not work out well with neighbors and neighborhood association needs. That being said, one of the reasons why I think that was accomplished was I did put public safety and my reputation and character before profits. Still had a profit, found a way. I went to URI, grew up in Rhode Island, graduated with a degree in political science, didn't go to law school. My dad didn't talk to me for 6 months. He was right. I was wrong. But I wanted to see the world. So I had grown up sheltered, young Italian man. Mom did everything for you, so did your aunts. So I said, okay, I gotta go see what the rest of the world looks like. And where could I move? Boston. At least they could still bring me food every weekend. So I went there. Then I ended up in LA, New York, San Francisco, Hawaii. Got to really learn what the rest of the country was like. Got to see just what I was missing, which is why I returned here to my family and to Rhode Island, willingly, wanting, never feeling that I shouldn't have wanted to be here. It was a great experience at a time in my life when I could have that experience. I didn't own anything, and I didn't know very much. So it helped me find out who I was and why I wanted to be here in Rhode Island. So what did I do? I didn't go back to law school again. I took the LSATs, didn't go back again. But then I bought a house. Once I bought a house, that was it. There was no going back. I've worked in the nighttime economy industry for probably 30 years. I own a salon in North Providence that I've had for 22 years. I own the Coliseum nightclub for 10 years, the Free Play Bar Arcade. We're opening another one now in Worcester. And why I say this to you is I'm going to be the small business champion. This is going to be something that I feel is very important to the economic growth of this city. Our nighttime economy is underutilized. It's because we have these bad reputations. First, we have to get rid of that reputation. We have to be able to generate the kind of economic value that comes from a thriving nighttime economy. It's also been one of the only job creators in a bad economy that sometimes people had. It was their only job. Sometimes that was a job that kept them in their homes or apartments. Now sometimes it's that second job that allows you to have this much better life that you want to have. So why I think it's important to bring some of these principles of being a small business owner into the realm of the public domain and elected official is that it's made me have a quality that I know has helped me succeed, which was I'm a relationship builder. But I'm not just a relationship builder, I'm a relationship builder with people who don't generally want to have a relationship. And I can tell you that story because when I wasn't part of the JDA, I was the nightclub guy who moved into a district and nobody wanted me. So what did we do? We reached out to each other right off the bat. We listened to each other. I listened, and I made some decisions that I knew were the right decisions. One day, I became a member, then I was a board member. That's the type of skill set that I think is needed to get anything done for our ward and our city. You have to be able to build a relationship, unify, get consensus with people who generally don't agree with you. The ones that agree with you are easy. So why does nothing get done? Because this is not the approach that's happening. Also, when you're running a small business, as many of you know, which sometimes our homes are our small business, okay? You have to have an eye to where the money goes, what you spend, and what you keep, and how much everything costs, and controlling those. I think there's a lot to be said about running a city like you run a small business, like it's your own money in your own pocket. I have been on that side of the aisle forever. The only way I think is from that side of the aisle. I will never really think from this side of the aisle. What I'm going to take of these voices here with the experts here. I'm not going to be an expert on every policy. I have some learning to do. The only place I want to have this learning come from is from everyone on this side of the aisle. From the people who have a passion for very particular things that I only have a general knowledge of. And that's how I'm going to learn why it needs to be done. And then I can bring it back, and with my consensus building, my style with unity, and the possibility of that relationship building with the person that doesn't quite understand what I'm bringing to them, we can then make the decisions that are going to benefit the entire city. Now I have to be focused on Ward 1, on day one. That's the place I'm starting, that's going to be my silo. But we're going to take that silo and we're going to add it to the others. And this is something that John and I am also a member of the coalition. John and I together worked on bringing this together for that very reason. One other thing I want to say to you is, everybody up here, this is a no-lose situation. Okay, in my opinion, I'll include myself in that. This is one of those proud moments for Ward 1 in our city. You have 3 very dedicated people here. 3 people with a lot of skill sets. 3 people with a lot of interest in their community and a lot of dedication. How do you distinguish yourself from each other up here? We all have some ways to do that. And I think it's my job to try to let you know what I think mine are that are going to be brought to the city council, if I'm fortunate to be elected, that is going to be able to allow us to make the changes we need. There's a lot of things I agree with up here. Density is one of them. We're a capital city. People throw around world-class city, destination city. They're just words. You have to create the destination, execute it at a world-class level. When we want to bring business owners into this city, they want to have density so that they know they can survive. The margins are so tight that if we can create density, how do we create it? With development, by having housing. How do we have the housing? It has to be the kind of housing we know that is affordable. What does that term really mean? I've asked some developers, what does affordable housing mean? What does that mean to you? It means something different to every person. So this is where I think we have to really define what affordable housing has to be. And I think you need a number. You have to put a price tag associated with what a person is able to spend to still have the rest of their life have some quality and value. It can't be we've gotten you the ability to be in this apartment, but you can't have anything else that goes along with it. Okay? You have to worry about even having a coffee at one of our great coffee shops. Okay? Or about going out and walking through the town and buying that sandwich at the cool sandwich place. So what I really want everyone to know here is that from day one, on day one, I'll work for Ward 1. I've been working the way I could. I positioned myself as a successful small business owner, like most of us do, 7 days a week. We all probably work more working for ourselves than we probably would ever do working for someone else. That has given me something that I think was very crucial to me when I looked to an elected official: availability. Complete and total availability. I wanted to run for this office too when the seat was open, and I was preparing to do it in that soft way, taking the next 3 years to have a soft approach to knowing the rest of my ward. I know downtown, I know some of Fox Point and some of the East Side Park, but I wanted that soft approach. I didn't want to have to talk to you once and hear it once and try to convince you that I was the right one. Well, that went away. And that decision was made by someone that was the decision they needed to make for themselves. Well, this is a level playing field for all of us, though, so we all have to play by this. But this is where it is so vital and so important, that while we have this very short period of time, that you understand the types of skill sets, the types of commitments we all have when you're making the decision that is going to affect all of us for a minimum of 3 years. There is going to be people leaving. And we know that, and it's going to leave open some voids. You have to have some life experience of integrity and strength. I think everyone up here has it. We come from it from different places. We use it in different ways. I can tell you I wouldn't have survived as a nightclub owner in here if I didn't have some of that. So, in closing, I just want to say to you all, thank you for coming out. This is going to be a fast election. We're all working at lightning speed. We're all doing the best. And we all had a conversation that we'd like to stay friends. We all said that to each other, we talked to each other. We're all going to go back to one way or the other when you choose one of us. We're all going to go back to doing the good works we all did and continuing to be a part of this ward and a part of this city for as long as we're all here. So I thank you all for listening to me, and I hope to help you